Mike.
We all want to office.
Yes.
Myself on. So
Okay. Please introduce yourself.
Right. Thanks so much, Tom. My name is Shandoff Bright, BMD for GSEW24 Africa. We e-logistics company, provide finance for exporters and importers, and also very love technology and entrepreneurship. So previously, I worked with Farmerline, close to 7 years in the early stages, and work a little bit at Bank of Africa. So I love to empower the youth, share my ideas, coach people, and see people really transform,
Right.
get the best out of people. So that's me.
so
That's wonderful.
after coming back into this day. So
Does he need to reintroduce?
yes, please. You get any idea?
Okay, Tom, great and pleasure to be here. So my name is Shandoff Bright. I'm the MD for GSEW24 Africa. We are e-logistics and trade financing company based in Accra, Tema, and we help exporters and importers to grow their businesses and increase their profit. Before GSEW24, I worked at Farmerline for about 7 years. At the early stages, seeing everything really unfold there. And prior to that, I also work at Bank of Africa. I really love, empowerment, speaking to young people, coach people to really bring the best out of them. So back in school days, really love student leadership. And go back to the youth. Check programs, schools to really speak to them about how to find their purpose, develop their leadership, and enter into entrepreneurship. So I believe that every human being has a talent, and if that is nurtured and given the great support, that person can be whatever he wants to be. So that's Chandler.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. So the other speaker is on. Would you please give us just 10 minutes to wrap up with him?
That's
Then we'll
right.
continue.
That's right.
Great. Sometimes network does network things. Dean, sorry.
No worries, no worries. I hope you're well.
Yes, as well now.
Okay. Please say hi to your friend there.
Says hello.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Great presentation about marketing and all of that.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so you were giving advice to student entrepreneurs.
Yes. We talked a lot about cash flow.
Yeah.
We also talked earlier about having a job and working for others. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I was, wanting you to close nicely, with the powerful advice to early stage entrepreneurs and students who want to build either a game studio or something else.
Yeah, I'd say right now, I think the older, I don't feel that old, but the older you get, the less pain is harmful to you, the more pain you can endure, so to say. When you start out, like myself, when I started out, I used to think in like 1 day, 2 days, 1 week increments. Right now, I'm fortunate to be able to think in sometimes years, sometimes longer, right? And that's one thing I wish I had done much earlier. So I think a really big point of advice to the youth: you're young, use that youth, move as fast as you can. But in terms of planning and strategy, try to maintain and build really long-term relationships, especially with people that you want to have relationships with long-term. Sometimes
Right.
there's no such thing that as bad as a bad friend for the rest of your life. It can be a really painful mistake. Yeah, and have fun, enjoy. It is often painful, often not fun. So when it is fun, try to enjoy it, because when it is not fun, you'll not have a choice. You'll have to bear the pain.
Right.
Yeah.
What about money? How to raise money?
I think most other people who can give you money generally try to understand how much you've put in yourself in terms of time, money, energy, etc. So before you go out, before you get money, try to do as much as you can by yourself. And often people connect with that belief that you have generated by putting in your own work, your own time, your own money, energy. Oftentimes I meet a lot of young founders who they have a pitch deck, they're looking for money, don't have a career, don't have any background, just looking for money, right? And it's really difficult for someone to believe in them, right? Especially a stranger. And the easy practical question is, would you invest? If a stranger came to you with the same business, with the same numbers, same etc., would you invest? And why?
Right.
And don't just say yes because it is your business. Like, be super critical, right? And the closer you get to yes, generally the better, right? The more the business makes sense, the more the revenue is very critical these days. Almost no one is getting funding on ideas. You have to have revenue. The more customers, the bigger and better your team, generally the easier it is to fundraise. I've been fortunate to raise funding from investors. I've been fortunate to receive funding from family and friends. And it is such a heavy responsibility. You should not lightly jump into it, right? It's such a deep commitment, not just for the money, but also for the trust and faith they're putting in you, especially when it's strangers. Family usually can forgive. Friends can forgive. Strangers, oh no, there's no forgiveness. Please do what you said you will do, or at least try very hard to do it. Don't give stories. Don't say, oh, the dog did so. Do what you said you will do. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Dean. Thank you for
My
being
pleasure.
part of our story. We've reached 59 hours and still counting. So check back on us. We will still be here tomorrow and next.
Awesome. I love it. I was hoping to have the time to ask you a few questions, but we shall do that in our own time. Congrats
Yes.
again. I
Thank
love the
you.
progress. And yeah, stay strong. I saw someone saying put your head in a bucket of ice. I don't know whether I'd recommend, but I wish you the best. I hope it goes well.
Okay. Thank you so much. Now transitioning to Shandov.
Yes, Tom.
Yeah. So you are now the general manager of a fast rising company, but of course your career started somewhere. So let's go back a little bit. When you were in your high school, university, did you always know that you are going to work in an institution like this role?
Yeah, so I think that from early beginning of my life, I really love to do, things on my own. So when we're young, I think somewhere like maybe 6 years
Mm.
in Brecum, we used to sell kerosene.
Right.
So we go buy kerosene, we bring it to the station, and the people come to buy. Then that kind of business transitioned to situation where we fetch water to bring to the lorry station. The drivers buy the water to wash their cars and their
Right.
tanks and all of those things. And I did that for a while. And to high school days, I was also, doing this chewing gum biscuit, this
Right.
street
Business.
business.
Yeah.
And I did it for a long time until I think even I go to senior high school. And I was at the boarding one day. I left campus and went to a funeral to sell, and my dad was at the funeral and he saw me. It's like, you're supposed to be in school. And I was like, we need to do these things because I love business. I love to sell. My mom was a trader. And so after school, you go to the markets,
Yeah.
and then you sell. And sometimes she'll buy the things like tomatoes and garden eggs. And then you say, okay, these are the stuff I bought it at this price. If you're able to sell it by the close of the day, you make any amount, you are good to go.
Right.
So I do sell it and make money, and go to school, play tennis, and buy food for friends and all of that. So I kind of loved entrepreneurship with sales and business from that perspective. Back in school days, I think in senior high school, it was more of like, go to school, learn more about science, do nursing, and whatever career that you can get. So it was not clear to me that I would be in logistics and technology and finance space. But right after school, after university, my friend Aloysius, had started business Farmerline and developing the idea. So I just joined and said, "Wait, let me volunteer." It's a great idea. I want to support a friend. And we started something back in school days at university, doing matriculation business where we take photography of people that are doing matriculation. So selling laptop, cleaners and covers and all of those things. So I kind of had an idea about doing business entrepreneurship, but specifically at technology and logistics, it was not that clear to me. But through Farmerline engagement,
Yeah.
then I stepped into the waters. But
Right.
I knew I would like to do something for myself.
Right. So how did you get into this present role?
So having gained a lot of experience from Farmerline close to 7 years, I broke for a while and stepped aside for some time. And then I saw GSEW advertising, and I was like, okay, let me give it a try.
Right.
And I always love the startup culture because the startup culture is more of energy.
High pressure.
Yeah. And ideas, people, who are really open-minded people. And I applied for it.
Right.
So I went for the interview. And it was sort of almost the same stage that I joined Farmerline.
Right.
So I saw everything, going from like, the beginning to where we are now. And it's been great. So I saw the ad, I applied for it, and it has a little bit kind of similarities with Farmerline.
Right.
We started doing export for people that are doing shea butter, black soap in rural Tamale. And so it was marketing to these people, doing consolidation, where we ship their things to the US. And around that time, we became one of the leading company that was, so that is how I got to the stream, interviewed by the CEO. And I also was impressed about the CEO. Jack Ma would say that when you're getting to your 30s, your late 20s to your 30s, it's not about the company you follow. Forget about the company. It's about the leader that you follow. Because if you really want to be great, you giving your life to a company, you need to also be transforming part by the company. So it has related to the company itself rather than the person who's leading the company, because the person's culture influences the company and influences you. So when I met the CEO, who she is, very straightforward person, and if she say yes, she'll do yes. And she's the type of CEO that will say, I will do X. And it's not like I'm waiting tomorrow that I'll do, which most people do that. And by tomorrow, they've talked to their friends, they've talked to their partners, and they've changed their minds. But Misha Adi says, I'm going to move. And she's really in the vehicle moving. And I was really impressed about that.
That's nice. Great. So we go back to your early days. You were doing the menial entrepreneurship processes. Would you say that those activities that many would have looked down on was what prepared you for who you are today?
Absolutely.
Okay.
In so many ways. I think the reason most people don't become entrepreneurs is the lack of the ability to take risk and the fear of failure. Right? I believe that a lot of people would have entered into the realm of entrepreneurship there to do something great if there is a guarantee that they will succeed. If the person says that, okay, once you get in a car and you want to drive, this car will never get you accident. Everybody will let you drive.
Absolutely.
And drive carelessly. So when you start doing things like this, it builds your muscles to develop, the ability to withstand, failure and also take risk. Because you go to funerals and selling these gums and biscuits and cookies, and you are doing business with adults. And sometimes they can intimidate you, they can beat you, and the competition is really high. You buy and you're deciding which funeral should I go, which town should I travel to? And at that young age, you're doing all of those things.
Was that your life?
Yes,
Okay.
it was helpful. And you're influencing people. It's not like you're creating value.
Right.
The person has to see a value before it gives you money.
Right.
So it builds me up. And I think after senior high school, I was teaching in a junior high school.
Okay.
And started doing some menial books. I was inspired by my pastor then, who was like coaching me at that time, Reverend Adwan Solomon. So I had a book, that I was selling. And I got money from that and built business games. I mean game business where I was selling table tennis, pool, and I was getting money. So as I was in the university, I left it in the hands of people. They managed the place and sent me some money. So I think really it impacted me.
That's nice. The ability to survive is a life skill, right?
It's a life skill. Back in university days, selling laptop cleaners and harvest and all of that, your colleagues, they're looking at you, right? So don't laugh at you.
Yeah.
I remember, and Aloysius, talks about this situation a lot. It was very inspiring, where he brought the idea that let's, get camera, get gowns and take pictures of people that are doing matriculation and make money. And we invested money, we got that. And the camera was not for us, it was somebody's camera, right? And then we're taking pictures. People have been lined up. And then it got to other people. The owner of the camera says, the parents are around. They need the camera to go and take pictures with the parents. And like the people were so very mad because they've paid money, they've come to you for business. We've borrowed the camera to do that. But you have to manage them. And these are your colleagues. And in university people, everybody will say it's mine.
Yeah.
Some people didn't get their pictures.
Mm.
They see your company, they say, what is my picture? That kind of thing. But
Yeah.
you have to manage all of those people and the pressure that it comes with it. And even your own colleagues, they are comfortably, studying in their homes and you're doing stuff like that. And it helps you to take a lot of risk and step into the waters at the right time.
Yeah. So when you were small at 11, who was keeping your money?
So at that time, yeah, I think basically myself,
Okay.
Um,
You weren't giving to mom.
no, for some reason, I had that kind of freedom,
Mm.
right? I had that freedom. You go home, you eat, and you leave and do business. You keep
Okay.
your things. And my friends, like the energy was
Yeah.
there. So no, I was not giving to her.
Okay.
But when I go to sell, part of a business, which is
Right.
like the tomatoes, the garden eggs, now I need to account
Yeah.
and then to give my profit to me.
All right.
So
That's nice. So who were you after school? Did you immediately find a job or you still hustled after university?
yeah, I think by God's grace, after basic school, senior high school,
Yeah.
I got opportunity right away to teach at that time.
Okay.
At our time, it was a great opportunity to
Mm.
have 1 year that you stay before you go to the university. So I was teaching at junior high school, and make some money organizing national classes. And sometimes I have classes that are waiting for me. I go to this class, you teach, you give assignments,
Right.
you are somewhere else. And it was really helpful, at that time to manage all of this kind of pressure. After university, even before I complete my national service, I saw my friend doing this great idea, and I knew Aloysius was going to succeed. And so I wanted to be part of it. I wanted to support. So I will leave, my national service days because I was teaching and I could finish all my, periods around that time and could come to, support. So right after national service, I was working with
Mhm. How did you know he would succeed?
Yeah, so I think success can be predicted in
Okay.
a way by it's more of, to some extent, it's like 1 + 1 = 2.
Mm.
If the person has a character and the person is doing the right thing, developing the right product, there's that likelihood that the person will succeed.
Mm.
So he's a person that he doesn't give up. He wants to win. He's bold. He wants to survive. He wants to do the right things. So
Have you guys done something before together?
yes, the photography business,
Right,
Dialogue
right,
World,
right.
was really supporting. And he was also supporting me when I was applying for my faculty presidency.
Right.
He was my key campaign manager. And he was learning. He comes to a computer pool. And just like what you're doing, like marathon,
Mm.
he'll be studying, learning about programming,
Mm.
goes home to sleep. Whilst friends are watching TV and all of that, I'll be coding, be learning, watching YouTube, reading. And his co-founder, Emmanuel, I've never seen any guy that is really hardworking than Emmanuel, like never in my life. Hardworking like crazy. And so I was like, these guys will succeed.
Mm.
And I was part of it. And it shaped my culture a lot.
Right. Okay. So working with him became a prelude to doing what you're doing now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Learn a lot of things because at that time, almost every part of the business I knew.
Right.
And that's also an opportunity for you to join a startup. You learn product development. You become a journalist, right?
Mm.
So you learn about the product development, its economics, management of people.
Mm.
Like the company is virtually led by they managed by 4 people. So every part of the company you are exposed to,
Yeah.
and it builds your capacity in that sense.
Right.
And then came to just stream, and this was the same. So I think that it was really great foundation.
That's amazing.
And you yourself, I mean, you've been doing a lot of entrepreneurship things, right? How did you
Yeah,
get in?
yeah, I've been trying.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, well, it's been the story of my life.
Yeah.
My mom, she was the biggest influence before my sister.
Mm.
She she's a farmer, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah, she farms yam and cassava and cocoyam. I don't know if you know cocoyam.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
My father too was a farmer.
Oh yeah?
Yes. So
Yeah.
we grew cocoyam,
Yeah.
cassava. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what she dealt with. And her farm was always big. When I was 9 years old, I asked her to give me crops for me to farm because I would see the people that she gives farms and things like that. And I see that the people who work hard, to grow their farm often have very big harvest
That's right.
compared with the others. So one day I pestered her and pestered her and pestered her. So she gave me a farm and gave me some yam. And then I pestered the workers to help me, dig the ridge, make the ridge, and then I planted the thing. So the yam grew actually. And I was so shocked. I never knew that yams planted by children will grow. It was my first introduction to life, and it was to be frank, it was the first time I knew I would never be a failure in my life because I never knew that yam planted by children will grow. So I told myself, if a yam planted by a child will grow, that means I can do, anything I want to do. And even if I fail, I'll plant a yam and it will grow.
Absolutely.
So yeah, after that period, but what happened was that the yam didn't do so well because I wasn't tending it.
Okay.
I didn't weed it. And so, the grass choked the yam and some uh all these pests, they ate it up before I could harvest it. And it gave me also another clarity, because it's not enough to plant the yam.
That's
You
right.
have to weed it, you have to do other things that, nurture it. And yeah. So I
And this
think
was where, Ghana or where? Which country?
in Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It was quite amazing. And I think I've had 2 episodes like that. Yam planted by a child. And I remember the other one was I saw a shoemaker, collecting money for cleaning a shoe.
Mm.
And I know I could clean my own shoe.
Absolutely.
So I thought to myself, if all worst comes to worst, I clean my shoe better than this man.
Yeah.
So I can clean my own shoe and make money.
Yeah.
I can clean shoe for people and make money.
I did that business.
And
I did it, on Sundays, you have to get a box and then you put, the things inside and you're walking and then you're hitting around. People come, you polish it. And then like the slippers, the bathroom slippers,
right.
we repair all of them. And you could make money before you
Yeah.
go to church.
Yeah.
And I think when we were staying at a point, I had a table that you put the things there and people from the community will bring it. So that was also another kind of business.
Yeah.
That was great. Wow. So you did some of those things.
I didn't get to, but I saw someone doing it. And, it touched me because in my own sense, that as a child, I was like, I could clean shoes better than this man.
Absolutely.
And so if I fail as an adult, I'll just start cleaning shoes and people will pay me. And before long, I'll build a factory. That's the way I analyze it. Yeah, it's amazing. The voice of a child is so simplistic, but still so powerful.
That's right.
So now you finished your, working with Aloysius. Did you guys end on good terms?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you transition to this one.
Yes, exactly.
What does your job look like these days?
Yeah, so these days, so you come in as technical person focusing on the area, so sales, business development, and then you rise to become managing director. Now it's more about managing the people,
Right.
right? Making sure that the people really, first of all, their psychology is right. They have that kind of mindset to be doing, because I mean the way that we do is stressful, and every entrepreneurship journey is stressful one.
Yeah.
So you're managing the psychology, you're managing the methods with which they do things.
Mm-hmm.
You're also managing, the motivation that they have, that kind of thing. So it's more of like people management.
Yeah.
But also, um, at times I also step into the waters, to do sales and business development. But it's more of a strategy. We're discussing the ideas. How can we make our products better?
Right.
Right? Because at this stage of company, you keep iterating, you keep trying to pivot, like you just move in the middle to find the strong pace.
Yeah.
And we've done that. And I mean, now we're very clear about where we want to go.
Where do you want to go?
Yeah. Yeah. To empower the African importer and exporter, right? With the resources that they need. And two of them that we think are very significant: access to capital to expand their business, and to also increase their profit, and also technology. Technology is a key, leveler at this time.
What would technology mean for you?
All right, so a lot of things, right? So first of all, we do e-logistics.
Okay.
Which means that moving goods from point A to point B, it's a bit complex. There's so many complexities in terms of the payments that needs to be made, in terms of the actions that need to be taken, the documentation processes around the port, right? So the person that is importing something from China has no idea when the goods will be with him. And even the stages that it takes you as the forwarder to bring the goods to him. So technology allows the person to see that your goods have been picked up at your supplier's warehouse,
right?
And so you get notification that your goods have been received, and then your goods are being loaded. It's going to arrive at this time. We set certain kind of milestone and say, okay, we're expecting the goods to be in Accra, for example, say 41 days, but at the 40th day, just checking in sure to know as an account manager or as a company person to know that we're on schedule on the 41st day. So if the person sees that, and then if there is some reason the shipping line might have made some changes, he has that information that we are not going to meet on the 41st, which is not anything that you can do, but you can update the customer. So that kind of information, ability to track, that is one of them. Secondly, we are doing something great. So we do invoice factoring, right? Where we buy invoices and work with the importers and exporters to do the deal.
Right.
So for example, if you have gotten a buyer in, say, Vietnam to bring cashew to the person, and you have a purchasing order, say $100,000, we say we buy the invoice, right, and work with you, because you may not have the capital to do that, and really do it on time. Sometimes people default, meeting the deadlines of orders. So we buy the invoice, we work with you, and then we ship the goods. Two things have to happen before we give you and work with you to finance that invoice. We need to know your, about a lot about you, your business, your credit worthiness, and all of those things. And technology allow us to do that kind of assessment very fast. The bank takes more than 40 days,
right,
4 to 6 weeks to do that kind of analysis. By our technology, within like a minute, we have an idea if this person will be somebody we can.
Why is yours faster?
Because it's technology. So you upload your information on the platform, right? And quickly it just give you as an idea based on the metrics, based on the data that we have. It analyze the data and tell us that, okay, this person, these are the risk factors, these are the things that are challenging, and that happens.
So banks don't have that kind of technology.
Some banks do not, right? And I think a lot of them, I don't know what I've gone for.
No.
Yeah, but banks don't, and we have built that kind of software, in-house technology that allows us to do that kind of thing. And there's this big technology that is on the market called optical character recognition.
Okay.
So ability to really like take the text in documents.
Right.
You just scan it quickly and you make a decision out of that. The traditional way is that people will manually go through, the hard copies, bank statements, BLs, and those things to manually check. But we have built a technology that will be able to scan that information and quickly like analyze it and give us some kind of predictions. Okay, this person is worthy to work with and buy the invoice. And also allow the person's shipment to be tracked.
Okay.
Because sometimes if you work with a person, you get a goose and the logistics is poor. The buyer, the off-taker, will not be happy.
Yeah.
Once we have more data, we're tracking, the time with which it takes you to meet your orders, right? What are the bottlenecks? There's a workflow that we have that will let us know that, okay, maybe tomorrow we have to make XY kind of payment for this shipment to go. And people are getting notification because the whole workflow is planned on the platform. And it's really
sounds interesting.
Absolutely.
So have you had instances where somebody defaulted? So
the invoice factory that we do and that we've learned a lot,
right.
and that's one of the great things about startup and also about the leadership.
When
you have a leader who is open-minded and you learn through the processes. So now it's difficult because the goods that we are, working with you to sell to your off-taker, we take control of the goods and manage it. We collateralize the cargo from somewhere, maybe in Sampa, in rural VA or Ashanti region, and escort it and bring it to the port. And so we monitor everything and making sure that the off-taker is really receiving the goods and paying for it.
Right.
So you wouldn't have the luxury where we allow you to, deal with the off-taker directly, and then you get the money, and now people start thinking, what else can I do?
Should I know?
Exactly. There's no, we manage everything. And so it's way it's way less. I think that we've controlled that a lot. Past it was not like that, but now with this, there's no likelihood that people will default. What could be a challenge is perhaps maybe if it's an import, then you're collateralizing the thing, and if you don't speed up the process of clearing, then it delays because the can be said that it doesn't want it.
Yeah.
But before we work with you, we have to be sure that this thing that we are buying the invoice
is actual goods.
It's true goods, and somebody really is ready to buy. So we have to even ensure there is an off-taker ready to buy the goods before we get in. And if that off-taker even is not ready, we have markup off-takers that we can easily push the goods to them.
So in the case that you meet a con artist that, yes, they have goods, but there is no off-taker.
That's right.
What do you do?
We don't. So that's where the technology comes in.
Okay.
The process is that, if you want us to partner with you and do deals, we don't partner people who are doing experiment.
Right.
You have to use your money to do the experiment and perfect it.
Right.
So at least you've done that business before.
Right.
You might have sold that goods to the off-taker before.
Okay.
And so from the second to the, maybe the infinity number, we can work with you to go on.
Right.
So there's no way that if you come for the first time, we would join you to do that.
Right. Makes sense. Makes sense. So I suppose you get to have a lot of young people coming to you for advice sometimes. Do you have entry-level job seekers?
Yes, we do, and these are things that we do, and depending also on time.
Right.
So we've had people that have come to intern,
right,
as software developers,
right,
and even some of them have, ended up to become one of the, the bright talents that we have in our engineering team.
right.
So time to time, we allow people to come.
Right.
People from the Maritime University.
Okay.
They want to learn about logistics.
Right.
They bring the university brings the application, we look at it, and
Okay.
observe at a time and make sure that the job is really set up for you, because it's value. We have to
Right.
make sure we have strong output
Right.
from what is coming,
Right.
and we train people, and we also make sure that they make good use of the time.
Right.
We do have that.
What do you advise people who want to be your type of career,
People
want to do what you're doing?
That's great. I think they have to, step in faster. I used to tell people that there are a lot of people that want entrepreneurs instead of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I mean, the word is entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Just step in.
Right.
Rather than, I want and have more ideas about it. Just do something. Once you're on campus, find something that you have interest in.
Right.
I think that, these kind of student leadership on campuses are really good.
Right.
It can be your church, it can be any association,
Yeah.
it can be your faculty. Just be there, right? Share ideas with your lecturers, debate with your colleagues, learn how to influence your own people.
Right.
Because at that time, it's a little bit tougher. There is a little bit of respect, for you by virtue of age, by virtue of authority.
Right.
So ability to get people to follow you at that time is more about influence.
Absolutely. Yeah.
To their conscience. So if
Yeah.
you do that, you build the muscles. When it comes to the job market, we always want to look for people that have done it before.
Okay.
And by that time you come, to the job market, you understand, basic things, about maybe profits and losses and all of those things practically, because you may manage some funds, accountability, pitching, presentations, and there are a lot of things that you can do. So please start that way. And I think that your initial desire in terms of career, don't marry it, just date it, right? Don't be, I would advocate that. Don't just say that I want to be like a pilot. Of course, if that's what you want to be, that's fine. But at this point in time, also give yourself some time, like open to new ideas. Because I've seen people who read law, they were great lawyers on campuses, but diverted into communication, software development. So just open yourself a little bit. Be a journalist, from the time you are in school. When you finish school, and what you learn in school, you're not getting a job at that area, and there's a job somewhere. Please just pick it up. You never know how your interest will be picked, in those kind of things.
The other question is, and this might be a bit counterintuitive or necessary, but now, by the way, did you start the company as the general manager, the role?
The role. And no, so I started as business development manager, from 2019.
Okay.
I did that, and then I became director of account managers.
Okay.
And then I became a director
Operations.
We share units.
Okay.
And so
To general manager. So you rose through the ranks.
yes.
Now, somebody will ask, could you not have built a variation of the business, but you chose to work in the business? What do you say to someone who thinks like that?
Yes. I mean, could I have done something on my own?
Yeah.
Rather than working.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I mentioned, there are two things, right?
Right.
We Strive Masiwa would say the entrepreneurs are there, the
Right.
entrepreneurs are there.
Right.
We need it. And sometimes partnership really is helpful.
Right.
Right. We, the Africans, I think we like the idea of sole, kind of proprietorship.
Right.
And so we want to get a German son and sons, and he just owns everything of the company. And it's, maybe even 100% is small, so you want 120% for his children, everything. And he can just maybe earn like $1,000 a month, rather than if a German son brings and someone says, as a partner, they can make like 5,000, right? And so he's forgetting about the fact that if you bring somebody, it's 1,000 monthly revenue, could become 2,500, and that's bigger. But they will just stay. So at JustStream, everybody is like is an owner of the company.
Right.
Just have equity,
Right.
right? That's one of the great things that I love about our CEO.
Mhm.
You know, everybody and the stock option and equity in the business,
Mhm.
and you mean you're building your own thing.
Absolutely.
So sometimes, if you look at the numbers going I was reading about Jeff Bezos, one of the richest men in America,
Yeah.
and the percentage that they own their company.
Right.
And it's surprising to know that one of the richest men in the world owns just 8.8%.
That doesn't even own 10% of the
8.8,
yeah.
right? But most of the time, some Africans would like to get all the 120.
Yeah.
Just let
And they're
go.
running around.
It's also about helping to grow together.
Yeah.
Because it's better for you.
Yeah.
The little that you get is value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe what you're saying. And, but these days, sometimes when you talk like that, some young people would, because you've made your money, why are you talking to us like?
If you have the passion and you have the instinct that you want to do it, do it.
Right.
I think that risk must be calculated. Everything there's risk.
Right.
Right. Driving a car is risky. By what drive? Why do we drive? You drive because even though driving is risky, you have a brake. There's a steering wheel that's there that controls where you're going. So even though you can crash and it's risky, because there's brake, there's light, and then you have a steer, this allows you to control the risk.
Yeah.
And therefore you drive. And you can drive several years without having any problem.
Right.
So you want to step into the waters and go solo to do your business. Ask yourself, what are the risk factors?
Right.
You may need certain kind of technical skills that you don't have. You don't have the money to, pay the person. So what do? If you can bring somebody that would do, because you will not pay the person that owns part of the company, you're just managing that risk. So step into it that way. So the key point is just, if you feel strongly about it, do it, but just check the numbers, the risks that that you see. How are you going to manage them?
Right.
And it's always great to know that.
Wonderful. Well, we have 11 minutes, so I guess we still have a few more time for one question. So, what did you study in school?
I did natural resources.
Natural resources. What is that?
So we were learning about more of like the way to manage the forest, fisheries,
Right.
the agriculture.
Right.
Yeah, those are the key things that we're learning. So it's a bit of like agriculture related.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we're the same college. So
Yeah.
you do some agriculture and then natural resource management.
All right. Let's talk about technology. So, technology obviously comes into frontal role in what you're doing. Yeah. Where do you see tech going in reshaping your industry?
Yeah, so I think that when you look at logistics, there are a lot of things that technology would do. And in some advanced countries, robotics is really helping, where people don't manually have to even be carrying some of the goods, right? And the entire process at the port is really automated with robots.
Yeah.
Right. Even moving the goods from the warehouse.
Yeah.
It's really like that way. So if you're a warehouse manager that you are doing loading and offloading, technology is driving those kind of things.
Right.
Payment is also a good thing that technology is changing in the space. Currently, if you want to import something into Ghana and want to clear it, you would make payments more than 20 different types of payments. And the painful part of it is that if one of the payments delays, you're going to pay extra. So you pay the government, you pay the shipping line, pay the terminal, and all of those people, you pay the, the freight forwarder.
Mm.
If you're able to pay the government terminal and don't pay the shipping line, you miss the opportunity to clear the cargo because you have people manually going to the banks to be making the payment. With technology, you can sit at your desk and by click about this 20 plus kind of payments,
Remitted.
you can do that.
Yeah.
And then also management of your records, the performance with the speed with which you get things done. Technology is helping that.
Yeah.
So our platform allows you to, track how efficient you are being. And then also this kind of assessment, records reading, document reading, how to document, and also insights. One of the things that we do well in Ghana with technology is that we collect a lot of data. So the collection is so much, but then what do we do out of the data that we collected? That kind of meaningful insights, that kind of trend analysis. Which kind of goods are they moving out? At what time, which prices, all of those things. Technology are helping that. Then the AI that everybody's talking about, I think that with time, it would improve in the space.
Okay.
Yeah, in the sense that, you'll be able to even know easily which kind of product that has high level of risk based on, the data that you have in the space. It's okay, if you are exporting this product, the likelihood you get it done on this day is lesser. If you are somewhere in the US and you want to import, let's say shea butter, the technology at that time would allow you to know if I import from Ghana, would it be better if I import from Togo?
Right.
In terms of cost, in terms of the time that it will take for me to bring it. So those are the key things. Which shipping line should I use?
How will it work in terms of calculating those?
So if a platform, right, that is being developed, that you are using to manage this shipment, right? So we put the shipment and say, okay, this shipment I've put it and it's going to US. And these are the steps that I have to take, expected to arrive in US in 30 days. This shipment that I'm doing from Togo, right? You've also booked it. When they all arrived, and if I've done like 1,000, you will see that those that moved from Ghana,
right,
the 30 days that you set was even faster. They didn't happen in 29 days or 32 days. So in that record that you have on that platform, you can generate that insight. The one that came from Togo, how long did it take?
Right.
And there are some shipments that are direct from, straight away from Ghana to the US. Some also pass through transshipment port. So all of those things, you can get the insight
from the platform.
Exactly.
What about fraud management?
Fraud management? Yes, fraud management, it can.
Do you guys need fraud management software?
Talk to me about that. I can get it out.
Let's say, well, I don't know whether it's rampant in your line of, things like chargeback, but because you ship in bulk, it might not be you, it might be the merchant.
Yeah.
So chargeback is when you buy this bottle of water, they are shipping it to you to Kumasi. Unfortunately, it didn't arrive, but you've already paid. You paid with your card. Now you go to, let's say, Fidelity Bank and lodge a claim with them, chargeback. They reverse the money and put it back to your account. So it's an old law in the US. So they made it to protect consumers. It's a consumer protection agency law, such that if the consumer suffers meritless loss, then they have the right to requisition the money back and the merchant to pay a fine to the bank. Yeah, and lose the.
It's brilliant. I think
it is.
There is a way people are doing it. So usually when people are buying things now, especially when they're buying a book, they get LCs,
right,
credits and say,
right,
I'm putting the money at the bank,
right,
and I'm telling the bank that I'm expecting a ton
XYZ,
a ton of black soap,
right,
ton.
Right.
If it delivers and the documents
pay him this,
then so in that case everybody is protected.
Right.
And some of them also say cash against document.
Right.
And it's okay. if I pay the money to you in Tamale,
Mhm.
and we're calling you, you don't pick again, the goods are coming, I'll never get it.
Right.
So cash against document is that use your own money.
Mm.
We've signed a contract, we have agreement.
Right.
Bring the goods, let the goods be loaded, consign the goods to me. And once the goods are on the vessel
Right.
and I have the draft document,
Mhm.
then I can pay you. Then once you do that, it's difficult when the person pays
Yeah.
to go back and think the goods was already
Yeah.
in the sea. So
Yeah.
these are the keeping, but I think that's something that we can also use technology to.
Absolutely. Yeah. Shandov, it's been a pleasure having this exciting dialogue. I'm told one of the speakers that will be coming at the top of the hour is on the other channel. Where is Dustin? Call him. So, final thoughts for those listening to you.
I think that there are a lot of things that I want to say, but maybe two things, right? Ability to manage people is going to be one of the critical things that you need to succeed in your career.
Right.
And these are things that you will not learn in school. Right. And so today, you take a step, the tons of information that you can learn from there, right? If you don't want to read so much books, I mean, there are summaries, that you can read. There are platforms that give you summaries. You can watch, YouTube, and all of this. Develop yourself. Because when you start your career, you get in with the technical skills. When you're growing, what really fuels you up and scale the business is a soft skill.
Right.
You as a leader, you're not the one in charge. Your job is to take care of those that you put in charge. Right. So learn about how to manage people really, really well. And then the last thing that I will add is learn how to execute, master execution. We have a lot of people that don't know how to get things done.
Right.
You have to read, you have to learn about how to get things done. And that's one of the key things. So if you're able to get things done and if you're able to manage people, you do great. You really, really do great. And be open-minded, be radically open-minded.
Right.
There's something else you don't know. And if you are that, open-minded, you make it great.
Thank you so very much, Shandov.
So